3. Hi everyone. So this is Ms.Sparkle Nation International Hunyah and Ms.Sparkle Nation 2022 Annette. And today we're talking about cyberbullying basics, cyberbullying in school. So hi everyone, and would you like to say hi?
Hi, hello everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Okay, so we're just gonna get started. So okay, let me just go to the view the slideshow. So okay, never mind. Okay, I forgot which one. Okay. So Ms.Sparkle Nation, and this is our second session that we're doing. So this is cyberbullying in school. That is by Ms.Sparkle Nation International 2022 Hunyah and my fellow queen, Ms.Sparkle Nation 2022 Annette. So let's get started. So what is Sparkle Nation LLC and what is it about? Annette, do you want to read it?
Oh, unfortunately, I can't read it because my
okay.
Oh, here we go. No, I got it. Sorry about that. Okay. Sparkle Nation LLC. What is Sparkle Nation? This ministry inspires, informs, and empowers women to shine and sparkle in all areas of life. Its goal is to promote unity and gain a sense of purpose. Sparkle Nation helps preserve that light so that it may shine even in the face of adversity, which is very important. This will ignite others to begin to glorify God. Sparkle encourages everyone to live their very best. Oh my goodness.
I have sparkle while they're doing it.
Yes. Go ahead.
The organization is for ages 1 to 101 and beyond, and this requires the acceptance of self-worth, enabling women across the world to sparkle for the nations to see. That's where the name Sparkle Nations come from, I think we could see. And this is also to continue with workshops and host events for children. And I think this is now to the founder member, Chantel Lucas. She's the founder of Sparkle Nation LLC. This began, Sparkle Nation LLC began in 2012. It's to support sarcoidosis disease. I believe I pronounced it right this time, right? How do you pronounce it? Sarcoidosis, right?
Yes, sarcoidosis.
Sarcoidosis. So, our founder, Chantel Lucas, has appeared on many different TV shows and has done a lot of interviews. She's been on Good Morning America and any big ones, right?
Yes.
Any big ones that you can name up. So signs of bullying at school. Annette, do you want to start with this one? Because I know you have a lot to say in there.
Emotional and social signs of bullying at school. Changes in sleep pattern, changes in eating patterns, crying a lot, mood swings, don't feel well in the morning, aggressive, unresponsive, and target sibling. And I think can check off all of those because I was bullied at school. And these signs are serious because a lot of people really, chalk it up to the kid being nervous or, it's just a sleeping pattern that they got to get used to now starting school again. And we really have to look for these signs. And for me, during my school years, especially junior high to high school years, I stayed in my room a lot. So all of these patterns,
I remember doing that too.
I had, but my mom couldn't tell because I was always in my room.
True, and it's like you just want to be by yourself because you already have you hear hurtful things all day, right? When you come home, you hear more hurtful things, so it's like you just want to be by yourself. So I can relate to that because I was one of the people that actually had low marks, and I actually got picked for just being nice. So that was the thing. Because I remember there was this girl in my she was with me until high school. Not throughout, but I saw her in college maybe a little bit after 2 years, but I don't know where she was, just on Facebook. Then I blocked her after. So she was a high school, so she was a bully to me. So every time when I'm being nice to someone, she had some kind of problem. So I remember that affecting me a lot, and I couldn't socialize that much. And at some points, the teacher wasn't even good. That's one.
Yes. And a lot of these kids, they'll, changes in eating patterns, the parent really doesn't really see into this because it's okay, of course, when you're in those years, that's when, puberty kicks in and your whole body's awry. But a lot of these are very simple and not so simple signs to see because a lot of people dismiss it. They don't chalk it up to bullying at school. Usually, if someone says, oh, I'm being bullied at school, they expect bruises or any physical marks. But really, a lot of those that are being bullied, they internalize everything. So, you know, they don't want to eat, or, you know, they even do something as far as cutting themselves
I
because
agree.
it's a
It goes
control
really
issue. It's
far
like,
away.
well, I can control my pain by cutting myself. Physical signs, yes, cuts,
True. Damaging clothing, comes home hungry, left
yes,
alone, teasing. I was unable to speak in class. For me, it was like that, and I wouldn't eat that much, so I still remember that. And most
yes, and
kids,
I've
I remember,
seen. Mhm.
like they would be in always in groups. Every time we had to do a group activity, I was always by myself. No one would ever want to be in a group with me. I don't know why. So I guess
Yes.
you think something?
Yes, I've seen, you know, patterns of, you know, one time I walked into my high school bathroom and, you know, I saw a girl cutting herself. And, you know, I didn't know what to do at first because I've never seen it before, even though I was bullied. I never, you know, did any physical harm like that. But, you know, it's really hard. And, you know, she's just like, oh my gosh, what are you doing in here? I was like, I just gonna use the bathroom. But, you know, a lot of physical signs can be hidden. You can hide the cuts. You know, the
Hold on,
clothing,
hold on.
they'll.
Anita, I'm a bit busy right now. You have to ask Ali. Okay, now we can continue. So I have a my grandma's sister and my
Mhm.
boss, so we have to take care of her. That's why it's like she's like asking me to ask. I told her to ask my siblings that right now. She knows I'm in session.
But
Okay,
yes,
so you were saying
it's
something that
hard.
yes, that yeah, when you see the girl cutting herself, then it's like, that's extreme bullying.
It is. It is extreme bullying, but in the person that's being bullied, in their mind, it's like, okay, I can't control the pain that, you know, the outside environment is causing, but I can control the pain that I inflict myself. So it's really more of like, not only is it a sign of bullying at school and, you know, an after effect of it, but it's a way of saying, okay, I'm going to control a certain amount of pain that, you know, is inflicted on me, and that's, you know, cutting. The damaged clothing, you know, they go to school one way and they, you know, they leave the house one way and then they change their clothes and they come back another way. That's another sign of, you know, clothes being either damaged or, you know, and
Or
hungry.
being
Some
pushed
kids
around
don't even want to
somewhere.
eat lunch. I skipped lunch because I sat by myself sometimes. And
I think a really good movie for this would be the movie Mean Girls. I still remember watching that, and I remember seeing how relatable it was because the girl had to eat by
yeah,
herself and she had to eat in the bathroom.
it is. It is. And, you know, now that I'm a parent, you know, I get nervous and you know, I talk to my son. I tell him, you know, if someone's bothering you at school or bullying you, you know, let me know. And I even tell him if it's uncomfortable to let a parent know, but I tell him just talk to somebody. You don't have to say who's bullying you if you don't want to, but at least talk about it so you can get it off your chest, because internalizing, you know, it's
Mm.
gonna, you know, they're gonna have problems speaking in class, you know. It's a vicious thing that happens, but a lot of these parents really don't see it because they just chalk it up to, you know, oh, bodily changes or
Now
just
we're on
changes in the
preventing
environment.
bullying. Like just what you're talking about, right? Like have
Yeah.
one-on-one talk, like the parents should be the one who should know about this, and then talk to the teacher, and then speak to the school counselor. With me, the interesting thing is when it came to teachers, I don't know if I should be saying this. There was this one teacher that I know that she started some organization or something. Once she actually where I felt like I was being bullied in a kind of way during 2022 is she knew I was competing in pageants, so she indirectly started bullying me in a way that my two Instagram account my two Instagram accounts got hacked, and
Mm-hmm.
then she was like being literally like two-faced due to the point that me and my relatives, we had noticed it with her, some kind of a jealousy or insecurity. That way I had to block the teacher, and I knew the teacher like literally since I was like grade 5, and she wasn't my teacher in grade 6, 7, or 8 or 9. But when it came to this year, her behavior was so weird. Like she's not
Oh,
who she like. That's why I feel like maybe the school board should do a bit more training on the teachers, like on. And because with her, she started this whole thing that okay, she didn't want to promote to a different, she didn't want to get relocated, and now
mm-hmm.
she's just like using that thing against like me and everyone, that oh, that why that okay, just because she knew I was competing somewhere. And thing is, my name was in the hot my YouTube channel, my podcast I do, the Hunyah show, was in the hot dogs podcast career accelerator. So she got jealous, and her daughter got jealous just because her daughter's been in the art industry for 10 years, and yet her daughter hasn't done anything in there yet. I don't even have an arts degree, and I've been doing my YouTube channel, and I'm way ahead. So that was kind of an incident I'm kind of dealing with even now. That's why I just stay away from that place.
Yes, I mean,
I feel like the teacher should be trained if the teacher is doing that.
Oh, of course. Of course, I think all staff and even parents, just to be able to be open, talking to a teacher usually is a little bit easier because, you don't live with the teacher, but sometimes the teachers.
I've known like since like I was a kid, and I've seen her like throughout the ages I grew up and stuff, and then started doing her own thing. But suddenly this year, she's like completely a different person. She's like rude. She's like always like she's been like really her behavior is like if she's the bully herself. So,
right.
But then who was a bully at my time when I was school? Was it the teacher who was creating the bullying with the students, or was the kids just bullying me? Because it comes to that. So it's kind of a complicated.
Oh, it does. Kids mirror what they see on TV and what adults do. And, of course, we live in an age of social media. So, of course, you'll have those that do something that's not very nice towards another one and just publicize it on every social media platform without thinking of the consequences.
That's like you're saying about talking to the teacher is good, but then it's like in this case, it's like,
it's not good.
It's like the teacher needs some training. And then I know one person out of that I know who's my family friend, like a really close one. She had to contact the school board on that teacher that, okay, if she's doing this and she's like suddenly trying to bully like me, and then she's saying that she has this organization and she wants to go to she's doing all of this thing, then maybe the school board should get in. So I know school board is involved right now with that. And I think they might be investigating on her.
Yeah,
this is pretty recent, actually.
It's horrible, especially when it's a figure that works with kids, and you grew up seeing this teacher, and now you're an adult yourself and you're dealing with it, and as an adult it's like, from a person who never did that to you before.
One of my friends, she's a parent, and she found out that there was nothing that happened with her daughter that day, and turned out she had made up, and she was the same teacher who's running this organization. So it's like, I'm not going to say who it is, because that would be just like, it won't sound good right now because it's like, but it's like that's where you feel like the school board has to get involved. That, okay, what was she doing? And even though she's retired and everything, but what she did with me recently is like in my in-person pageant, she went behind my back and told them a whole story to do with Bollywood, which is really what she says about herself. And I don't know from where did she get this, but I had a very, very difficult situation there, that I had to leave the in-person pageant 1 month before the actual pageant because it turns out that teacher had went behind my back and did something like this. So I feel like the teacher is not trustworthy in this case.
Oh, no, of course not.
But it's like, if you have a genuine teacher, then that's a good thing. But this teacher, she wasn't genuine in this case. She's completely true.
I mean, there are, unfortunately, there are, I don't want to say bad apples, but you have those out there that,
because with me, it's like, I knew her, like me and my siblings, we, she taught us. And suddenly she was also doing it towards my brother too. She's like, oh, then why does he have a business? And he's like, okay, so are you running a wholesale? Are you shipping things? You don't know anything about that, right? And then she goes to my sister. She's like, oh, so something she said to her, just because my sister got something at the age of 15. So her daughter, the teacher, the teacher's daughter, she got jealous of my sister as well. So that's where me and my sister were like, maybe we shouldn't even bother with that teacher anymore because she's lost her mind.
Yes, that's it's horrible. And I've always been told, the person who is bullying you has insecurities on themselves, and they don't want the light to shine on them, so they project it onto somebody else. And it's unfortunate, but sometimes it just never gets addressed to the bully because they're afraid of retaliation. They don't know, it's like the bully's capable of just,
and it's like that's what's the school counselor and have a one-on-one with, I think, like whoever it is, and talk to the bully and then see what are the consequences because it's like, I think everyone, like even the bully themselves, like they have insecurity, but they never see the consequences coming. Yeah, when they get older, it affects them and it affects them in all the time.
Of course.
Because you've been like that too, right? Like where the person is on you and where you see them now.
Yes, and there are people that that weren't kind to me, and they found me through Facebook, and I'm like, what, I'm sure you're the sweetest person now, but the way you were back in high school, I'm just not even gonna bother.
That's interesting. I was just close to actually adding in one girl from like this from I guess high school and school, because I went to school with her. after years, like I see her picture, but then I thought of adding her, but I'm like, you know what? Do I really want to go in the same thing again as an adult? Then I just didn't add her after.
Yeah,
I don't want to ruin myself because then the same thing might happen again. I don't want to experience that at the age.
Yeah, you don't want to leave that opportunity open. It's not that you're being mean or anything, but you have your right to protect yourself and how you feel, and you don't want to be bothered by it. And even the consequences of the kid being bullied. Sometimes, unfortunately, there are those that take their own life because they just want it to stop. And that's the only way they feel that they have control of the situation to stop, because, they felt like they couldn't talk to anybody. But, now with a lot of awarenesses coming about with mental health issues and suicide awareness, it's like, anger and pain and hurt is a surface emotion of what is happened underneath it. It's just, you got to find the cause of why a person is the way they react to certain ways, or, they're just projecting, especially with kids, they feel like they have to uphold a certain image, even though they're being bullied. And it's like, no, it's okay to talk to someone. If you don't feel comfortable talking to your parents, talk to a teacher, guidance counselor. There are hotlines now where you can remain anonymous. You don't even have to say who you are.
I think like 10, 20 years ago, there wasn't a lot about bullying, but now it's like there's like everything available, mental health services, this service, that service. Like they even have like mental health as an education part in Canada, like they recently started.
I know they're trying to push that in the United States to have, mental health awareness. I know what they started doing a few years back is they started having yoga classes for kids to kind of help them, and I think that's great. I wish I had yoga class when I was in school, but I think it's because, and also social media, everything instantaneously, we want to have people aware of, there is help out there. You don't have to give your name. You don't even have to give the name of the person who's bullying you. Just talk to somebody.
Like when my sister, when a few years ago, she was in high school, and with her assignments was related to social media, and the teacher was literally on it, like the teacher of the class. So it's like the teacher would oversee everything. Like I think that was a new thing that they had started. Like because of COVID, like they were completely doing everything online. So the teacher, I think they had different kind of training then.
Yes. But now, I feel that, it's important to, because I've even been bullied as a parent, and, I've had comments, and I'll never forget the one time I was dropping off my oldest son. He was in 3rd grade, and I had my middle child. He's nonverbal autistic, but I had him on a harness because he would run. He was a runner. And I hear a comment, someone saying, "Oh, look, she's walking her dog." And I looked all around to make sure that no one had a dog at the schoolyard. And they were talking about me. And these were 5th graders that said that.
That's
like out loud. And I get it. Kids will be kids, and they want to impress their friends, but that was the wrong way to do it. So what did I do as a parent? I called up the principal, but I told the principal what happened. I said, please do not single out these kids. Do not suspend them. Do not even put them in detention. Just educate them. Tell them if they have a question, come and ask me. I get it. Kids are kids. They want to say something and impress the people around them and get a good laugh. I was, once a kid too. I get it. But in today's society, you have to be careful.
True.
I'm sorry?
Parent, it's like you have to be like, you have to watch out for these things, right?
Oh yeah, I was
like nurturing the kids and everything. Yes. So it depends on that as well.
And the principal, he couldn't believe it. He was like, "Are you sure you don't want these kids suspended or in detention?" I said, "That's not going to solve anything. That's just going to get them angry. And I'm sorry, I'm not speaking bad, but I don't know how their parents are going to react because their kid was just telling a quote unquote joke, making a comment." So I was like, you know what?
It's not a funny joke.
Punishing is not going to help. Educate them. And I told them.
I've been taking stand comedy for a while. Like, this is something I just started to take it for fun. So one thing is, we're told that you can't do a joke that's going to be hurtful. You have to make it in a way that people actually have something good to laugh about, not like a negative.
Yes. Oh, of course.
but it's like it's not ethical. Like I get it, like they're making a lot of money and stuff on Netflix and all these things, but not every joke should be like, you know, tailored towards only like the government or this and that. Should sometimes just be like
and I'm a child of the 80s. I grew up on comedians such as, you know, Eddie Murphy and George Carlin, all those, and they joked about anything and everything. In today's society, I don't think it would be acceptable, but
yeah, like
I'm all for telling a joke. But when you're specifically pointing out something and you don't know really what it's about, now they're kids. I get it. They don't know any better. So instead of having them punished, the principal was really set on having them, you know, being suspended and detention. I said, that's not going to solve anything. It's going to make them more angry. I go, educate them. And I told the principal, if you would like, I will go into the class and speak about, you know, my son having autism and why I have him in a harness, because he'll go out and play in traffic. He's a danger like that. But he does have the right to run around if he wants to. I just got to have it in a controlled setting. And the principal couldn't believe it. And he said that the students that had done it, they were very quiet, but they were very sorry. And, you know, the next day, they wanted to reach out and to apologize to me. And, you know, I said, no apology is necessary as long as you learned your lesson, as long as you can walk away from this situation, not angry, but have the knowledge to, it's okay to be funny and say something
but
and make a joke.
Funny all the time.
Yes, but you have to be careful how you're being funny, because, you know, it's like, no, I'm not walking a dog, I'm walking my son, you know, and you know, everyone, even that I've told the story to, is like, are you sure? I go, trust me, the mom side of me wanted to yell and scream at these kids that said it, but I'm not their parents, and I'd rather do it in a positive way.
And because it doesn't solve anything. And I think like that's a really good point. Like what you said, like how educating it, I think that should be like in the school curriculum. I think like it was, but it's like I see no effect on it at the time when I was a kid, because I still felt like being picked, even though there was like a billion sessions on bullying, everyone was still doing the same thing, yet no one was noticing it.
Exactly. And, you know, even one little statement can make a difference. I mean, I can tell you all the times that I was made fun of as a kid. I wore hand-me-downs. I had an older brother, so I've had hand-me-downs, or, you know, my clothes weren't the best, or, you know, my hair was a certain way. And believe it or not, because I was made fun of as a child with my hair being so textured and curly, I straighten my hair all the time. I'm really uncomfortable till this day wearing my hair in its natural state because I was made fun of. So
right now my hair is tangled and I've been trying to detangle them.
Like my hair, when people have seen my hair in its natural state, they think I permed my hair, and I'm like, no, I just straightened my hair because I was made fun of as a kid because my hair was so pretty.
She has like naturally like super curly hair. I think one or two of them. So they always straighten their hair. Like I remember she's like 2 years older than me. She always straightens her hair. Like every time we go. I don't know behind it because she's like a person that kind of can be picky on people and whatever. But she straightens her hair every day. I noticed that like since we were kids. Like now she's like I think turning 32 and I'm like 30. We have like 2 years difference. But it's like that I can relate to because I've seen that. And like with my sister once, when we talk about hair, like she actually got her hair straight for 6 months because I don't know why. Although I told her like, you know, stick curly hair now she does, but it's like I think it's like even the way how your hair looks sometimes makes you like, you know, it's like
I'm completely till this day really uncomfortable wearing my hair in its natural state because I was picked on so much. And a lot of people like, well, you're not a little kid anymore. It's like you don't know like the mental effects. Like I don't let it bring me back to that place as much as I try to, but wearing my hair in its natural state, I just get all kinds of nervous. I'm like, nope, I'm gonna go and I straighten it. It's, you know, it's really hard.
Let's have the viewers discuss this, and for our next topic, we'll be talking about teens who are being bullied or who have been bullied. It could go both ways. And we'll hopefully see you next month. So tune in to Miss Sparkle Nation 2022 Annette and me, Miss Sparkle Nation International 2022 Hunyah, for the next episode on cyberbullying basics. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Good night. Bye.